I'm not a reactor. I just react. If you know, you know, man. But anyways, today I'm gonna be reacting to school shooting survivor interview Kelly. I was like, no, that's crazy. That's one thing I don't think I ever went through. Surprisingly. But like, share, comment, subscribe. Why is this stuff on the side of my screen, bro? Hate it if you hate it. Like it if you like it. Like the video if you like the video, bro. But without further ado, let's get into it, man.
Where'd you grow up? Where are you from? Born and raised in St. Louis, Missouri, my whole life. North County, but I've fluctuated throughout the city. And you're a school teacher there? I am. How long have you been doing that? So this is my 9th year at my school. And what grade do you teach? I teach 9th through 12th. So I teach art. You teach art? I'm sure you have lots of kids that you're in love with from from all your classes. Yes. Being a school teacher is really rewarding, right? It is, and they become your own children, I feel like. I tell people that I have 120 kids at a time. You have kids of your own, though, too? I do. And you're married with, how long have you been married? I've been married 10 years. So you like living there? It's a good community, all that? St. Louis has its problems, but as we've been traveling through this city, we keep talking about how much we miss St. Louis, and no matter how many problems there are, it's such a beautiful place and kind of a gem. Right. But something happened recently. How many years ago was it? It hasn't even been a year. So October 24th, it will be a year. Tell me what happened. So our school community experienced a school shooting, and he had 600 rounds of ammunition. So
600 rounds? Oh my goodness. Bro, what in the... That's a lot. Where he even get 600 from? Bro, some people, man, they just don't need a weapon, man. Like, at all. They don't even need to know what a weapon is, man. This is just crazy. R.I.P. to all the kids that may have lost their lives in a school shooting.
Came to take as many out as he could. He was a previous student that I knew pretty well, and it has created this crazy ripple effect throughout our school community and just the whole community of St. Louis, it seems like. There were casualties? There were 2 casualties, not including the shooter. One of our PE teacher, health and PE teacher, and then one of our 10th grade students. And how does that impact the whole school? I mean, this could be the worst thing ever. The shooting itself, I feel like so many of us heard so many gunshots because it wasn't just like a couple gunshots. I counted just in one room, the aftermath, I counted 60 bullet holes, and that was without, and I stopped counting after that, which I think that was part of the police shootout, but we thought almost half the school was dead because of the amount of shooting that was taking place. We felt like we were in this like weird limbo we felt like we were being hunted. That's what it felt like we were being hunted. I was on the 3rd floor where a lot of the shooting took place, and I just could hear it so close, and the echo.
No, it's crazy, but besides the whole school thing, I was like, the whole shooting thing, but school in general, I was like, man, I kind of miss school just a little bit, just a little bit, bro. And you know what's crazy? Now that I'm older, now that I'm 23, and I look back at it now, I was like, bro, it was really just waking up and going to 5 classes and going home. That's all we had to do for just 18 years. You have to worry about like bills and Christmas and Thanksgiving and Valentine's Day and every other day that you supposed to have some money on. Bill day, insurance policy day. But I'm getting a little off topic, but I went back to what she talking about.
Hall. He pulled the fire alarm to try and get us out. So we're hearing the fire alarm going off while there are flashing lights. We're hearing all these auditory things, and the cops got there in 4 minutes. The one of our security officers that rotates was able that has a gun was able to get there and right before the cops. And I have no doubt in my mind that without them doing such a quick reaction and just rushing in, didn't meet at the side, just like ran in, I think so many more of us would have died. I know 7 others were shot or injured. Kids were jumping out of 3-story windows. The healing process has just been a crazy journey. And I feel like it was more than just our school community. It was the whole community just felt it and like wrapped their arms around us as much as they could.
This happened what month? Was it?
October 24th.
October. So you had the whole school year after that.
Yes, we did not go back until January. So they're redoing the building, cleaning up. We did some virtual. We did some field trips. So we were seeing the kids outside of school if they could get there, and that was like something magical one of my coworkers did to be like, we have to do something. So we all kind of had our little place in the healing process of like who did what and how we were there for the kids. And I think we all kind of picked these different roles, if that makes sense. We went to Jeff City. I don't want to politicize anything, but we went to Jeff City to try and the red flag law would have saved this whole situation from happening. I think a couple weeks before they came and tried to take his gun, but because of all the laws, they weren't able to.
So tell me about that.
He was definitely mentally ill. He had tried to take his own life at different points.
You remember him as a student?
I remember him very well.
What was he like?
I love all of our kids, even our most challenging. Those are the ones I actually tried my hardest with. I did not have him as a student, but it's a 400-person school. We know all the kids. And I feel like I got to know him pretty well.
Nah, you know, but they be lying. Stop lying, bro. No, they don't know all 400 kids, man. They be like, what was your name in the back again? I forgot. I'm gonna remember. Don't remember the whole year, bro. You know how many times I went to school and they kept saying Stephen, bro? Stephen, are you here? Stefan. It's Stefan. Where do you see a effing? It ain't no effing. It's Stephan. Stefan. Bro, I hated that, bro. Talking about they don't remember everybody, man. They probably remember like like 30, maybe 40%. Man, like stop. You know, they all right, line up all 400 kids and name all of them. Line up all 400 kids right now and name all of them, record it. Stop, bro. Stop. Y'all can't do it. Y'all can't do it, bro.
He was very closed off. He had friends, but I could look in his eye and see that something happened to him long before he ever got to us. I don't think we were the problem. If anything, I think we were his only safe space. And when he didn't have that anymore after he graduated, I think there was a lot of pain there. This is all speculation of just us kind of diving deep, but I think that's where a lot of it took place. I believe.
You want to know what's crazy? I think to myself, what was in their minds going on at the time? Like, what was it? Like, it's like it's either two things. It's either one, they just don't have any, they lose regard for any human life around them, or they just, I don't know, bro. Like, I honestly, I don't understand it. I really don't. Because every time I hear about these, I never understand it. I don't get it. Like, what are you getting out of trying to hurt a school? Like, because I don't know. And then, you get people that get bullied. Like, bro, I got bullied in school and I didn't stick up for myself and I should have. But that's on me. Like, all I can say, for the people that be having a rough time in school is to just worry about you and just get through the year, man. Like, it ain't even about like trying to make friendships and make long lasting relationships, man. It's about trying to focus on you, and it's about tuning in on what you really want to do, you know, and doing that. I feel like a lot of times we try to get so lost in the people that we forget who we're trying to be because we're so lost in someone else. Like, am I tripping? Like, is it just me, man? Is it just me? I'm just saying. Because I ain't know who I wanted to be for a really long time. And now I really feel like I do. And for all the people that's doubting me, I feel bad for you because it's finna be crazy. It's finna be crazy, man. Because the only place I'm going is up. And it's either you gonna ride with me or you're not gonna ride with me. You know what I'm saying? But at the end of the day, I'm going up. I'm going up.
It was either schizophrenia or some kind of psychosis that was happening. His mother tried to get the gun removed from the house. They were able to give it to a family friend. He got it back. They weren't able to actually confiscate the weapon. So he had detailed notes and planning and a map of the school. He had actually come to our school after he graduated, and he was really big into the theater tech program, and I think that's where he found his place and his voice. And he just wanted to help us so much, but it was still COVID, so we couldn't do it. And I think he just had this wound of that there was no longer a place that he was loved and safe, if that makes sense.
You've been a teacher for about a decade. Have you seen, even in that time, the mental health of students change? Not from that event, but just in general.
Oh yes, I have.
It seems like society is getting a little more off track.
Yes. Our kids, it's an inner city school with 22 different zip codes. So some kids are coming from the really bad part of town. Some kids are coming, it's just all over. There's so much trauma. There's so much gun violence, particularly. So many kids are coming in. My cousin died last week from getting shot. He's 14. And it's just something that I've seen probably in the last 5 or 6 years, just getting worse and worse every single year.
What are your views on gun laws?
I'm definitely a firm believer on we need more common sense gun laws. Do I think we should confiscate every weapon? No. But I feel like St. Louis is kind of like the Wild West. Like everyone, I don't feel like there are any gun laws. If there are, they don't enforce them. So some of our kids will literally say, I have to have a gun in my, I have to have a gun in my neighborhood, Miss Terry. And that like breaks my heart when a 15-year-old thinks that. And these are good kids. These aren't like kids running the streets. These are kids that are just scared for their life. And I think that is just incredibly, it's shocking that it's escalated to this point.
Well, that's the thing.
You know,
Like, everybody can't afford to live in a good area. You know what I'm saying? Like everybody can't afford to leave they door unlocked, man. Like, it's not. Like, bro, I know the sun be shining, but you gotta be cautious. You gotta be careful.
the parents of the boy?
I do not. He told us false things. He told us he was in and out of foster care. Come to find that wasn't real. Like, so there was a lot going on there that I think we just will never know.
Why do you think there have been so many school shootings in the last few decades? Because that didn't happen when I was a kid.
Yeah, Columbine happened when I was younger, but it still wasn't a fear. I never ever went to school
But
scared.
now it seems to happen a lot.
I am scared to death to let my daughter go to school. I let her, but she's starting middle school, and like I think every parent should be scared. And I hate to say that, but you should be scared because if it can happen at our school, we have the most magical school. It's an art school. It's a visual arts, a performing arts school. It's such a healing, loving, beautiful place. And no matter how underfunded or how crazy education is, we always make it work. And if it can happen at our school, it can happen anywhere. And I don't think anyone should feel safe. And I hate to say that, but I think it's true.
Do you see impact on the kids after this event?
Yeah, we went from having like maybe 1 or 2 fights a year, which in the inner city, that's like unheard of. I feel like at schools, most schools even, just no matter where you are, to like almost every day we were having a couple fights after, and it was all trauma. It wasn't even like we know the kids so well that it was so outside of their character. It was so.
She trying to say that the fights that happened after that day was based on what had happened. But what if the people just didn't like each other? I don't know. Because it be like that, bro. Hey, bro, you want to know what's crazy, man? You want to know what's crazy, man? Like, bro, it was a lot of people, like a number of people I wanted to, I ain't gonna say it because YouTube is so PG, but it was a couple of things, like, but I stayed to myself and I stuck to what I stuck to. You know what I'm saying? Because I knew soon as the last day came, I was never in my life going to see any of them ever again. And it has been great. I can say it has been amazing. It has been wonderful. You know what I'm saying? Puts a smile on my face, man. That last day was amazing. I ain't never got to see them ever again, man. That made me so happy, man. I'm so happy, man. I was walking out with a smile on my face, yeah. Bye. But nah, yeah, it's crazy though.
Outside of who they were. We were just seeing lots of kids bringing up old trauma, so much, and teachers as well. All of our old traumas from whether it be childhood or even adulthood, but like all of it was just brought to the surface, and I think everyone's even still kind of touch and go. And like when Tennessee happened, that was still pretty soon after our shooting. Like teachers were missing, kids were missing, like no one was able to even come in because we were so distraught. So I think that's something else is when the next one happens, like how are we supposed to function that week at school?
How has this changed the way you interact with the kids, with your students?
I am always like loving mom, nurturing. Um, I think
Get your classwork
I
done.
cared a lot less about academics and getting stuff done, and I cared a lot more about like real world. And like, let's not push you into college if that's not your purpose. Like, let's get you somewhere where you belong, no matter where that is. I think
Oh, that's
just
cool.
like being
Okay.
the art room,
Okay.
being this therapy
We need more teachers like her, man.
safe space, has even I've dove further into. I don't think the kids have changed that much as far as how I interact with them. It's more of like how I interact with the rest of the world
Mhm.
that has changed.
How do you think like parenting has changed? That so many young people are just like mentally off.
I think we're all stressed. I think
Life is difficult now.
yes, like
Life's expensive.
I screw up as a parent all the time, and I'm like, oh my goodness, my kid's mental health is suffering because my mental health is such a mess, and it's like this trickle down where like parents are working. Most parents are working nowadays, like instead of just like a mom being home with the kid. That's rarer. I've
It
noticed.
seems like so many people are slaves to their work schedule
Yes.
that parenting becomes like a
Yes, like I am not the best parent after I come home after hearing all these kids tell me these crazy stories that's going on at their home. Like it's hard to come home and be a parent, and I'm sure a lot of other careers are the same.
what's your biggest concern now after seeing this?
My inward circle is like how are us that were in the building gonna function because we appear like we're still strong and fine, but like I was at Navy Pier last night and I'm like, someone that has a gun, and I'm like freaking out. Like, I don't trust the world at all. And I used to be a more loving, trusting, bubbly person. I'm colder, so I'm scared the kids are gonna have that. Then the ripple outward effect of like, how is just this gonna continue to be a fear? Every time you drop your kid off, you don't know if they're gonna come back. So like I'm constantly worried about my kids. I'm worried about the kids at schools, other schools. Like it's not safe. It's not.
How did the shooting happen? How did it start?
So it started.
He wasn't an actual student anymore.
No, he shot out a door, crawled through. He had like some type of I'm not a gun person. Some type of long gun, assault rifle type.
But you shoot out a door, that makes a lot of noise.
Yes, but we have a pretty stretched school. Everyone did their job that day. Like we worked so it just proves how special my school is because every single person made sure that that information got to the right person to call. We call it Miles Davis. So like that was our intruder drill. Was Miles Davis is in the building, and thank goodness one of our people were watching the security cameras. Unfortunately, one of the casualties happened before we were on lockdown because like how do you even get on lockdown? Like it's a chain of events with a school that large. But they were watching the cameras and they ran in and they saved our life that day. I don't know if I should name call or not, but we call her Mayor Johnson, and she will forever have a place in my heart because I really feel like she saved our life that day. He made it up to the third floor really quick. I don't know why he came straight to the third floor. I don't know if he was specifically targeting or if he had weird memories there, but he was just he shot at a number of people before they were able to lock down, some of them administrators, some of them security guards, and his gun jammed, and they just like I don't really know what higher power or what was looking out for them that day, but he wasn't very skilled with his weapon, thank goodness, because even when he shot into the classroom, he was missing kids and he wasn't doing any fatal shots for some of the kids that were wounded, like a leg shot.
Two people died, but how many were shot?
I know 7 were wounded. I believe like 6 of them were shot. I think one of them was through jumping out the window. There was some trauma to the body. Then I still haven't pieced together every bit of it. But where my building was, my side, there's no way we could jump out the window. We would not have made that. So we were just trapped while everyone was trying to scramble if they could or just stay silent. I mean, that's what they train you to do, is stay silent. But I don't think that's necessarily effective either, because he knows all those drills. And a lot of people know the ins and outs of those drills if they're going to do something like that.
And emotionally, this has got to change everyone. But what kind of stuff do you see the kids going through?
I really think it's the bringing up of the old trauma that I've really seen. Like, some of the kids have just come with the most horrific stories of childhood trauma that they've shoved down, that it's like resurfacing, and I don't think they understand like why and how and why is this coming up? Like, this is old. It should be more about the shooting. I think some kids are scared. We had it wasn't a fire drill. The fire malfunctions, and some of us wouldn't leave the room because we were so triggered that this wasn't a drill. This wasn't planned. What if it's someone trying to shoot up the school? We wouldn't leave the building. So there's just so many auditory triggers I've noticed. We hear something in the hall that is an echo, and everyone's kind of like startled and jumpy.
Lots of anxiety.
Yes, lots.
What was this kid like? I mean, did he have friends when he was in?
He did have friends. In his notes that he wrote, I didn't get to see all of it, but they kind of give us pieces of it. He said he never had a girlfriend. He did. He said he never had friends. He definitely had a friend group. He was not bullied at our school. I mean, everyone joked.
Nah, he was definitely bullied for sure. He was definitely bullied. That's the only motive. That's the only possible motive that he would even think of doing it. Because you can't. And he probably did have friends, but they probably didn't get along. You know, man, sometimes you can have friends and y'all just don't get along. Like, it be like that. It be like that. Because sometimes it's just not the same. Like,
on each other. That's just like a cultural thing. That it seems like we all kind of do, but it was never like, he did not get bullied at our school. That was never like an issue at our school. So
it's an issue at every school. I ain't trying to hear that. They do not pay attention. They do not. They don't. They really don't. They always try to say zero tie. They try to have a whole pep. What is it called? The pep rally, whatever you want to call it. They try to bring everybody into one room talking about bullying and cyberbullying, and then everybody still come out. Everybody come out the room, go back into their classes, and everybody still getting bullied. So I don't know what they talking about. Like, no, they don't. So they'll be like, Tommy, stop that, Tommy, stop. Stop it, man. If you do it again, man. If you do it again. And then he do it again. Stop, Tommy. Stop. You're in timeout. Go to timeout, Tommy. Nah, bro. Man, I ain't trying to hear that. You know what?
It was very apparent that this was childhood things that he was bringing.
With so many mental disorders and who knows what else is going on, it could have been in just a psychotic break where he.
Oh yeah, well, and he had been. I know for a fact that I think it was over the summer before this happened, that he had been in and out of like psychiatric hospitals, and this was like definitely a suicide mission. He didn't obviously want to live. It was very apparent.
If he's going up to the 3rd floor to do a shooting, that kind of tells you he's not looking to get away.
Yeah. And there's some video. It doesn't show much, but there's a lot of auditory things. And like, he busted in the room and he was taunting some of us. And y'all are gonna die today, and things like that that you could hear on the video and through students word of mouth as well. And he was definitely like taunting, and he
Time
played a lot
out.
of video
Hold
games. I'm
on.
not
Wait
like
a
blaming
minute.
that, but I do think that was creating like this fantasy where it was like he wasn't realizing maybe it was as real as it was. He already knew he wanted to die. He didn't want to just go down with suicide. He wanted to be known. That's kind of what I've compiled from everything.
Oh, wait a minute.
Thank God the gun jammed.
I mean, 600 rounds, and that was after he was shooting a bunch. They brought us through the scene where he was shot. I don't know what. I didn't see him, but there was like bullets everywhere. Like there was a way that we could have went down the stairs the other way. I don't know why the cops brought us through the crime scene. That's the only thing I have a complaint about because they did everything else right. Everything. I think they were just also, they looked scared. I've never walked out and seen so many police officers and seen fear on their face. Like, I think they were in shock as well. Even the ones that didn't see or experience that part and were just kind of helping evacuate. And I think they just saw the looks on our face, and you could just see some trauma there as well.
Kelly, what would you say is the most important thing you've learned in all of this?
I've learned that I'm never safe. That was my safest place. Like, I created.
Yeah, that's. She's right. You know, just cause you inside, you still outside. But if you stayed to the end, man, I appreciate you. If you didn't, maybe next time. I'm out, man. Catch y'all in the next one.